I won't say much. Let me first of all write on the protocols that have been mentioned by Mike and the rest of the speakers, SETA and the rest. But there are just a few facts I want to put on the board. One, intra-African trade is very low. We are at between 14 and 16, and depending, when they exclude the North Africa, we are at 14. When they include it, we are at 16. Clearly, that's the lowest in the world. Intra-American trade is in the 70%, Europe is close to 80s. So basically, the onus is on us to be able to increase that. The other fact is that 70% of our population are young people, either youth. I think youth range between age of 0, 1 day, to 35 or 33, they are about. More interestingly, 35% of those youth are below 15 years of age. So what is left for us is to support that population and make sure that population supports the growth of Africa. Now, the other fact that we talked about, somebody mentioned it, is the loss of 5 billion in terms of charges in our, that has been estimated by the Afrexim Bank. Now, this is just in fees. We are not talking about the opportunity cost of having that money moving around the world. Any money is worth today more than tomorrow. So if I have my money instantly, I'm better off, and PAPSS offers that. Now let me tell you a small story. I was here last year in May, and I come from Rwanda, and I did my university in Rwanda. So in our area where we lived, there was this young man, I think he was a few years younger than me. He was still in high school, and we used to meet. So I bumped into him on the beach here. So we talked and hugged and greeted. Then I told him, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing in Ghana? He told me, no, he's here for some trade. But he told me, then I also told him what I was doing. When I told him I was doing Pan-African Payment Settlement System, he told me now his dilemma. He told me he's trading between France, DRC, Rwanda, and Canada. He told me that the payments between Canada and France, he receives it in less than a day, a couple of hours. And he told me that the payments from Canada to Rwanda, or France to Rwanda, and France to DRC take maybe 2 to 3 days. But the payment between DRC and Rwanda were taking more than 10 days. So he told me, Bosco, you are here to solve my problem. Now, and you can see clearly he was telling me that he's going to start doing more business between the other countries. So that is trade lost between DRC and Rwanda. So there's so much trade that we are losing between ourselves, between these two countries, between our own countries, between Benin and Nigeria, between Ghana and Nigeria. Just look at across the borders, how much we have. So that's a story to tell you how inefficient payment systems are in Africa. Now, a payment is the most important economic activity. If we look at it, you're either paying or you're getting paid. And without that activity, that means there's no economics. There's no economies are not running. And the payment system is the infrastructure, is the plumbing of economic activity. So clearly we must all work towards having a clear, efficient payment systems in Africa to implement trade across the borders. Now, come to Ghana. Ghana has always been the cradle for Pan-Africanism. You saw how passionate Dr. Seta is, how passionate you all are. We moved venue, but you still came. This is Ghana. This is the Ghanaian people. This is what we've always known as Africans, that Ghana is the cradle of Pan-Africanism. The first central bank to fund the settlement account was the Bank of Ghana. The first bank to do a transaction was in Ghana. PAPSS was launched in Ghana. So we see that Ghana is a cradle of Pan-Africanism. Now, just my last message is that this is a kind of a revolution. It's a revolution in the sense that we are starting something that is sustainable and for the longer term. They say a revolution cannot be done by one woman or one man, but can be initiated. So let's assume all of us here in the room, we are one people initiating this revolution as the Ghanaian banking sector, the first banking sector to do transactions within PAPSS. So the onus is on us and yourselves to be able to deliver this system. It's delivered already, but to be able to promote it and sell it. So let Ghana be the springboard of PAPSS massive transactions. This is a message I would leave to you. Let Ghana be the springboard of massive transactions, so this can go in the books of history, that system launched here and system built here and strengthened in Accra, Ghana. Thank you very much.